Hey everybody, I was recently offered the opportunity to review this projector that we've got here. Now this is a BlitzWolf BW-MP1. As I said, I was offered this for review. Now I don't normally do reviews on this channel, but a few weeks ago I actually ended up buying a second-hand projector for the Le Mans 24-hour race. I had a projector set up in the garden, projecting onto a big white sheet, so a group of us could watch the race at night. So I thought it might be interesting to make a comparison between the two. This being a cheap, brand new projector which is available, and this one here, which is an old second-hand one which I bought at quite a reasonable price. So I thought it'd be interesting to compare the two to see the difference between a cheap modern one and a cheap old one. So this projector is currently on offer at the moment for £61.53. It's normally £91.53, so there's a slight discount at the moment, and that's excluding shipping. If you're interested in taking a look at that, it's listed on Banggood. The link to the page is in the video description. Right, let's get started on actually having a look at these two units. Right, before we get into the meat of this, let's just take a look at the two different projectors and the spec between the two, and see how we're going to sort of compare them together. Okay, let's pop the BlitzWolf to one side for a moment, and we'll have a look at the projector that I bought a few weeks ago for my Le Mans 24-hour party. This is a Panasonic F100 wireless. It dates from about 10 years ago, and it cost me 20 quid. Now obviously, because this is a proper big old projector, there is a lamp in this, and this particular unit has done 2,500 lamp hours. So it has a rated lifetime of about 3,000 hours. I believe when it hits 3,000 it shuts off and won't let you use it anymore. So there's about 500 hours of lamp time left on this unit, but as I said, it only cost me 20 quid. In terms of the specification, the brightness is 3,000 lumens, and the LCD is a 4:3 aspect ratio, 1024 by 768 resolution, and this also is a 3 LCD unit as well. So each of the three colours, red, green and blue, have their own separate LCD screen, which aids the actual picture quality. And on the back we have all the inputs. Round on the front we have the lens, user controls, and all the picture adjustment features. So inside the box of the BlitzWolf we have a user manual, the actual projector itself. There we go, fairly small, compact little unit compared to the big behemoth which is this Panasonic. Now I should say that this Panasonic is originally it was a big projector even back in the day. This wasn't really meant for domestic use. It was probably more of a commercial business type projector anyway, so it is on the big side to start with. But the BlitzWolf is quite a compact little unit, doesn't weigh much. So the spec on the BlitzWolf, we have a single LCD which is 16:9 ratio, which is slightly better for displaying sort of modern pictures, which are now all widescreen, unlike the Panasonic, which is 4:3. The resolution is 800 by 600, so a fair bit less than the Panasonic, and the brightness is 1200 lumens. Right, first off let's talk about the cost of these. As I said, this Panasonic cost me 20 quid. Now obviously it is 10 years old, and you always take a bit of a gamble when you buy things second hand. Thankfully I was able to find out the number of lamp hours and have a quick look at the picture before I actually purchased this. Obviously the lamp hours is very important when it comes to old projectors. It's a bit of a lottery. You can find one with like 10 lamp hours, or you could find the same one and it's got it's only got a few hours left on the lamp. Another thing to look for is the picture quality. Being an LCD, these do seem to be better than the DLPs. The older DLPs, they do seem to have a lot more picture problems. You know, you get blotchiness and parts of the screen don't work and things like that. I think generally you might see less of that on an LCD. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. But for 20 quid, with 500 hours of usable lamp life left on it, I thought it was a pretty good deal. So the BlitzWolf, well, it's actually pretty good value, really. I mean, it's on offer at the moment for 60 something pounds, as I mentioned earlier. That is brand new. Obviously, you're going to get a warranty with that. Yeah, I know it comes from China, so there's always questions over warranty, but generally the Chinese are pretty good. If you do have a problem, they quite often just send you a completely new unit, so I don't think there'd be any issues with that. Right, let's talk about connectivity, because obviously that's going to be important depending on what you want to connect it to. The Panasonic, we have all the old school connectors on the back. We have LAN port, VGA input, composite video, S-video, component. We've got an audio input, but nobody ever runs audio through a projector, do they? We have a couple of remote control ports, which generally people don't use, and that is it. It does have wireless as well, so it can connect to Wi-Fi, but there are some caveats with that. In terms of actually using these, yeah, component, there's not many people going to be using component now, really. S-video and composite likewise. The LAN and the wireless, yes, you can transmit pictures over the network to this, but it's completely proprietary. You have to use Panasonic software, and it really can only do screen capture, and it can't really do video. It doesn't. The update rate isn't fast enough. You get about 20 frames per second doing live video over the wireless or the LAN. So really the only usable port on this is the VGA input. Now that can take anything up to 1080 picture, and it downscales it to the 1024 by 768. So having a look at connectivity on the BlitzWolf, it is wireless, it is DNLA, so you can connect this onto your wireless network and stream directly to it. The physical ports on the back, we have an AV, which will be just composite video, HDMI, which is fairly important nowadays because everything pretty much has a HDMI interface on it. We've got USB and SD card as well, so this certainly does provide a bit more usability when it comes to trying to get your picture, videos, whatever you want, onto the actual into the projector. There is also a VGA port on the bottom there, so you've got the same option you have on the Panasonic. Right, let's have a quick look at the optical picture adjustment. So these are the physical controls which allow you to adjust the picture. So on the Panasonic, we have 3 controls here. We have a zoom control, which is actually an optical zoom. We have focus on the back there. And we also have this joystick arrangement, which allows us to move the picture around, so you can point it upwards, downwards, left, right, etc. So quite a flexible arrangement when it comes to the optical adjustment. Now on the BlitzWolf, we've got lens cap cover here, a bit more limited on the range of adjustments. We basically have a focus control and a keystone adjustment. So this just adjusts the keystone of the image, and that is it. So if you want to zoom this, then you actually have to physically move the projector further away from whatever you're projecting onto, whereas with Panasonic you can actually place the projector roughly wherever you want and then just zoom the picture accordingly. So let's have a look at brightness. The BlitzWolf is rated at 1200 lumens, the Panasonic is 3000, so obviously there's a big difference there when it comes to the brightness level, and that's going to really make a difference if you're projecting in a sort of bright room or you actually want to make a really, really big picture. So while we're talking about brightness, we should also talk about lamp time. The BlitzWolf has an LED lamp in it, and it's rated for 20,000 hours. How true that will be in real life, I don't know. I guess only time will tell on that one. The Panasonic has a rated lamp time of 3,000 hours. It starts popping warnings up at about 2,800. So yeah, there's a big difference there. You obviously pay the price to have a real lamp bulb in the old projector. Lamp in the BlitzWolf, of course, not replaceable, so it's pretty much a disposable unit. The Panasonic is replaceable. You can get new lamps from Panasonic. They're eye-wateringly expensive, probably getting on for 300 quid for a new lamp from Panasonic. There probably are options to buy pattern copies for maybe about £90, £100, which you could drop in, and yeah, you're going to have to take your chances with that. So there are options to keep this Panasonic running, potentially cheap, but maybe not quite so reliable. Right, what I'm going to do now is take these away and plug them in and turn them on and compare the picture. I'm probably not going to show you this because it's I actually don't have a projection screen. As I say, I used this outside using a white sheet originally, so I don't really have a projection screen. It's always difficult to get these types of tests across on camera anyway, so I'm just going to go and project these myself, have a look at them and make a subjective decision on which one might be better in different ways. So I'll be right back. Right, so I've just had a quick look at this, compared it to the Panasonic. There are some significant differences, obviously. This is hampered somewhat by the mechanical optical controls. Obviously the size and distance away from what you're projecting on is dependent on the distance that is away. So you can't place the projector and then zoom it to the right, the size that you want, which is somewhat awkward. It means that you're kind of limited on where the projector can actually go, and sometimes it's awkward to position it to get the size of the picture you want. In terms of the actual 800 by 600 picture, yes, you can get it pretty sharp, but the biggest downside to it is the brightness. There is a huge difference between the Panasonic, which is 3000 lumens, and this 1200. From what I've just seen, I would question that 1200 lumens, to be honest. I would say this is a quarter of the brightness of the Panasonic. So I don't know, I've got no way to actually measure it properly, but yeah, looking at it, it looks to me about a quarter of the brightness of the Panasonic, so there's a massive difference there. Now, obviously, both of these projectors have a fan in to keep them cool. The Panasonic is really quite a quiet unit. The BlitzWolf is definitely louder than the Panasonic, even though this actually only, the full current consumption of this is 55 watts compared to the 300 watts of the Panasonic, but the Panasonic is quieter. So to be honest, in terms of the actual picture quality and the picture controls and all that sort of stuff, the noise, I've got to hand it to the Panasonic for this one. So unfortunately, the BlitzWolf doesn't really come out on top. So, of course, it wouldn't be right if I didn't take it apart. This is what this channel is all about, taking things to pieces. So let's see what it's like on the inside. So on the base, there's just 4 screws in each of the corners, just to hold the top on, I think. See if this wants to come off. Nope. Oh, there's another one. Yep, sorry, make that 5 screws. So, the lid should come off. I've got a small board there, that's just the front panel controls. Fairly cheap ABS case. It does have a sort of a soft touch thing to it. So inside here we have probably the main control board with everything. It's probably everything on here. Connected down there, that's going to a fan, it looks like, and we have the mains power coming in here, and I would hazard a guess that's the connection to the LCD. Right, let's take this apart a bit further. Well, it looks like we've got a few more wires and connections underneath, so let's just start off by removing this LCD connector. Okay, let's have a quick look at the got a few connectors going out to the various bits on the thing. We have the SD card slot, connection to the LCD. Just here we have a nice little module there for the Wi-Fi, so my guess is this wire here, just a piece of enamel copper wire, so that's probably the Wi-Fi antenna. Got a little electrolytic cap there, what looks to be a little power supply thing here. Just here we have a Berg Micro 25Q32A SSIG, which is a 32 megabit flash. That's SPI. On the other side, a couple of more electrolytic caps here. These are Chong X branded. We didn't really expect them to be decent quality caps in something like this, did we? The main components on here, we have some memory, we have a rock chip, RK2928G, that's an ARM processor, so that'll be just doing all the user interface stuff, processing of the of everything. There's another serial flash chip here, presumably that's got the firmware in it. And then this device here, which is a TSMV59XUT, which is an LCD driver. Hardly surprising. Yeah, not a really huge amount in there. The soldering looks pretty good. Some of the components are a little bit wonky, but generally it's pretty good. Warning on there, danger electric shock. Nice that they bothered. So with that cover removed, we can see how this sort of works a bit better. Obviously in here we will have the LED light source. There's probably going to be some lensing and stuff in here to expand the image out, collimate it into this size. The LCD looks like it's just in there. We'll take that out in a moment. Then just here we have a Fresnel lens on the keystone adjustment. So that just changes the angle that it hits this mirror just here. The mirror does appear to be plastic, I think. Yep, that's a plastic mirror. So probably not great quality, but it is also a bit dusty as well. So that just bounces the image off that mirror and out through the main lens. And here we have the LCD panel. So we've got all the driver circuitry just on the end there with a flat flex attached to it. Obviously this is a huge LCD. The ones in the Panasonic are far smaller. They're 17.8 millimeters diagonal compared to this, which is huge. Right, so we take a look at the power supply. It's this little board which tucks in behind the mirror. Now what I'm going to do first off is just see if there's any charge on the main capacitor in this, because this is a switching power supply, and it looks like the power just comes straight in through a bridge rectifier into a large cap on the other side. So I'm just going to check that, make sure there's not a couple of 100 volts on it. No, that's safe. It's 10.8 volts and falling, so there's probably a bleed resistor on there somewhere. Okay, here's the power supply. We've got a little bit of input filtering here. We do have an NTC, a fuse, bridge rectifier just down there. This is the power input just here. A large cap just there. This doesn't seem to be gooped down at all. This cap, I can't quite see the brand, but it's not going to be a Japanese brand. Transformer, obviously I'm not going to take this apart, so I don't know how good the transformer is. We do have some isolation slots here, opto isolation. In terms of isolation, yeah, the transformer is just here. So yeah, we've got a nice big gap there. Gets a little bit closer here. Where we've got the opto isolator, but they have cut a trace. They've cut a slot in the PCB there, so that's probably accounting for that. Some of the soldering is a bit blobby on this, but yeah, I think it's passable. I think. We start to remove some more of this. We've got the fan, which is a Quite a cute little blower unit. And down in there we have a heatsink attached to the back of the LED module. Looks like they've got a heat pipe arrangement in there. If we now remove the front assembly, so that's just a reflector in there, and it comes out to a Fresnel lens. Okay, I can't really find any exact matches for the part numbers there on the LED module, but there are some very, very similar ones which are used in you know, 20, 50 watt LED floodlights. So that's probably just a floodlight based LED. Oh, finally, the last things to see in there are these VGA port down in the bottom there. It's a little daughter board which just comes up to this connector here. And we've got a tiny little epoxy speaker down on the base there. I don't know why people who make projectors bother putting a speaker in. Does anybody actually use them? Okay, I suppose we better try and draw some conclusions from this. Let's look at the BlitzWolf first. Obviously it's quite a nice little compact unit. It's not very bright. The picture quality is okay. Resolution is a bit low. I wouldn't really use this as a home cinema projector anyway. It's the sort of thing you might want to use really temporarily. Your kids might want to use it or something, and you don't want to let them play around with your proper projector. Yeah, it might be something you take away camping and run it off an inverter or something like that. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's not something you're going to use as a proper home cinema projector kind of thing. It's just a quick, cheap and cheerful temporary thing. Now it did come with remote control and everything, and you get these AV leads that plug in the side, and it did come with a UK plug, which is quite nice to see, and it does look like it's compliant to standards as well. So that's really good. Yeah, I would class this as a sort of cheap and cheerful disposable projector. 60 quid, yeah, you can't really complain really. There is a huge disparity in price between this projector and this one. The Panasonic, originally that would have been about $4,000 for this unit back in 2006, 2007. When it comes to things like optics, then if there's a lot of money in the optics, then it will always be better than cheap optics. You know, even if it is 10, 15, 20 years old, the optical design makes all the difference, and cheap optics will always look bad. So the Panasonic, yeah, this was an expensive unit. It is only 1024 by 768, so it's not even 720p, and it's only 4:3 as well. So if you start pushing a 720 or 1080p picture into it that's 16:9, you're going to lose even more resolution. So it's not ideal, but from the use that I had out of it, it was well worth the £20. It was nice and bright. So if I wanted to do what I did a couple of weeks ago and get a projector for Le Mans to project outside onto a sheet for the people that came around to watch it with us, if I bought the BlitzWolf, I probably would have been disappointed, to be honest. It wouldn't have been bright enough, and it wouldn't have been flexible enough just to get an image where I wanted it, whereas this did, and it cost a lot less. So I can only draw on that and say that this Panasonic worked better for me, costing 20 quid, than this one did that cost 60, 70, 80 pounds. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I need to say. There is a link in the video description to the Banggood store where you can buy this if you want to. Okay, thanks for watching everybody. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.